After School Special Podcast. After School Special Podcast. After School Special Podcast. After School Special Podcast.
So today on the podcast, we are putting this podcast out right at the right time because guess what comes out today? Not the day that we're actually recording this, but today when it comes out. Wakanda Forever. Black Panther. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
Black Panther. He's not just a new Avenger, he's a king. With agility, strength, and a brilliant mind. As T'Challa, King of Wakanda, he inherited the title of Black Panther. Now he protects the people of his country and the people of the world.
Keep on back! 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 Keep on back!
A cinematic king has fallen, an actor as iconic to his fans as the legends he's played on screen. At 43, after a valiant 4-year fight, Chadwick Boseman lost his battle with colon cancer, his wife and family beside him.
Black Panther is awesome because he's relentless.
Wakanda forever!
So we're going to give you a little background on our superhero bud here, which I don't know about you, Don. I fell in love with this character when it was on BET, the cartoon series that they had, the short-lived one.
I didn't see that.
Oh, dude, there wasn't too many things out at the time. I think they were just starting to do Thor and Iron Man and the first phase of MCU. So I see this character, the Black Panther. I knew about him. I didn't know much about like the comic book and where he kind of derived from. And then I started learning about Wakanda and Killmonger and all these different characters within it. So when I went into going to see Black Panther, I knew everything that was being said.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like when we went to go see it, you didn't know what was going on in the screen. I knew exactly what was going on, and I shamed you for it. I'm just kidding. I didn't go see it in theaters. I waited till it came out on video on demand.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, my kids were...
You couldn't support the black people by going there and supporting the art?
I bought the fucking thing. Okay?
Oh.
And then I rented it, and then I bought it. So, twice. I probably did more than you did. Be like, anyways,
no,
okay.
go ahead.
Let's no. Let's get into Black Panther. I'm going to talk about the comic book character, and we could talk a little bit about the movies. But for me, the big thing was BET. All right.
Mine was Marvel Alliance. Marvel Alliance, the video game, either part 1 or part 2. He was a character on the game, and that game, as flawed as it was, I had it on PlayStation 3, and then eventually PlayStation 4, I believe. But as flawed as that game was as an RPG, for any gamer, they know about it. They did a great job in that game of not only having a lot of characters that you didn't know, but they had like this database of like the biography of the characters. So one of those characters, I believe, was Black Panther. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? I read about him. And then my friend Eric E., who has been on the show, he was fawning over this guy. Like, no, man, this guy is great. You don't understand. He's just as vicious as Wolverine, but he's a genius. He's this, he's that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So when he actually came to this big screen, I was anticipating him. And of course, we're going to talk about when it came out, how we, you know, we viewed that film. But you want to talk about the history?
Well, no, technically 2018.
2018. You're right. January 29th.
Damn. All right. Well, let's get into the character of Black Panther, and then we'll kind of just shoot the shit a little bit. Black Panther is a fictional character appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. The character was actually created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, which, you know, a lot of people just thought it was Stan Lee that created. Jack Kirby created a lot of these fucking characters.
You know, ever since you kind of brought that to my attention, I just started paying more attention to that fact. Like, damn, Jack Kirby was the guy. And
He was. Stan Lee was a great promoter, though. He was a great... I consider Jack Kirby the genius, where Stan Lee was like the big promotion. Like, say wrestling. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Well, No.
Well,
I was gonna
Stan
say,
Lee, I
yeah,
saw
that doesn't make
in print, he said, Jack is amazing. He can just run with things. I would like say a phrase like Dr. Doom, and then the next day there is a plot, and he'll do all these things to create the actual character that he might have said a name, but Jack Kirby would like run with it. And I think I saw Stan Lee edit it really well. So
yeah.
Jack Kirby would come in with these amazing ideas or these characters pretty much fleshed out, but then, Stan Lee will put his like little spin on it. He'll edit it a little bit. That's what he did.
Wonder if there was ever like a superhero they came up with is like, okay, get this. His name's Johnson, and he's got a big fucking cock.
Oh, definitely. That was supposed to be the first black character in the Marvel Universe, but then they settled on Black Panther.
Black Panther. Oh, yes. Jack Johnson, the big cock, big swinging cock.
Yes.
That makes total sense. And that's why white men are afraid of black penises. The fuck?
You said it, not me. It's true.
So the first time the character appeared was actually in Fantastic Four 52, and the cover was dated for July 1966, Silver Age Comics. And just to go into this real quick, everyone knows Black Panther's name is T'Challa. But Black Panther is the first superhero of African descent in any mainstream comic books.
Yep.
Or American comic books. I don't know if there were possibly like European comic books or whatnot that had superheroes, but like American comic, but let's all be real. American comic books, the only comic books that we need.
No,
we don't need European garbage.
Well, it was like unflattering things when we were in those comic strips. There were like caricatures of black people. There were
it's blackface, right?
Blackface, but what's the term? It's a term for that. Minstrel type of thing?
Minstrel, yes.
Yeah,
yep.
They have the minstrel depictions of African Americans, of black people in comic strips that weren't flattering. And
I think it had to do with Europeans in like certain areas of Africa, the French. I saw one and it was posted on Instagram because of how like ridiculously racist it was. Europeans, there was Germans, there was British, there was whatever, Americans, and all of them reacting. It was pretty bad. But yeah, it came from like 1950 something. So yeah, before
2022 now.
Yeah. Oh shit. So yeah, Black Panther was the first superhero of African descent in any mainstream American comic books, and most comics beforehand, European or whatnot, or comic strips, most of it was minstrel stuff. So this was the first black superhero. Before the Falcon, he came out in 1969. Luke Cage was 1972, and Blade was like 1973. And then you have DC, like Jon Stewart and all that shit. So Black Panther's real name is T'Challa, and I already know I said that, everyone knows his name is T'Challa. For the latch kids in the back that can't hear anything. And he is depicted as the king and protector of the fictional nation of Wakanda. So Wakanda is not an actual nation. He possesses enhanced abilities through the ancient Wakanda rituals of drinking the essence of the heart-shaped herb. And I thought about this, and I'm like, what other herbs are out there that you could eat that, it's like you get, because it pumps blood. It's more or less cocaine.
Yeah,
or
pretty
some
much.
type of methamphetamine that gets him going. And, then there's one rocket ship shaped herb that gets your dick hard. And then there's one for, I don't know, breeding.
So Black Panther's a meth head. Got it.
Yeah, Black Panther is a meth head. Well, at the time, in 1966, meth was okay. A lot of leaders used it. So talk about kind of the name, the Black Panther, because a lot of people equate Black Panther with the Black Panther Party, thinking that it came out around the same time, but it actually predates the Black Panther Party. And I remember Stan Lee had said that there was no real reason for it, and then that he saw a Black Panther in a serial comic that he had read, and he's like, oh, Black Panther. And with guest appearance in Fantastic Four, they actually tried to change his name to Black Leopard to avoid any connotations with the party. And then they had this whole explanation thing. The character's name was changed back to Black Panther in Avengers 105, with T'Challa explaining that renaming himself made as much sense as altering the Scarlet Witch's name, and he is not a stereotype.
Go ahead, brother man. But you saw what Kirby said, how he came up with Black Panther. It's so dated the way he puts it. It's so funny. This is Kirby talking.
In an interview, Kirby shared the same genesis as Lee. Let me see if I could do this. I came up with the Black Panther, see, because I realized I had no blacks in my strip. And he really emphasized black.
Yes, he did.
And I never drawn a black. I needed a black. I suddenly discovered that I had a lot of black readers. My first friend was black. And here I was ignoring them because I was associating with everyone else. But blacks are... Jesus Christ, I don't want to keep saying that. I don't know. There's nothing like bad about it, but it's like the way that Kirby is probably
very dated.
saying it.
Yeah.
Or you could say, well, if you said it like Joe Biden, like I came up with Black Panther because I realized I had no blacks in my strip and never drawn a black jack. I need a black. And suddenly discovered I had a lot of black readers. My friend was black, and I was ignoring them because I was serving everyone else. You know, you do the thing with the thing, and everybody wants to give their niece and my daughter, I love my daughter, hugs, kiss on the face, kiss on the lips. I'm Joe Biden. Black.
You think he said black enough? Jeez, said it like 5 times.
Man, that Joe Biden, he really really loves the blacks.
Yes, he does. Loves the blacks.
Roy Thomas has made claims that support Lee's version of events, while Kirby was supported by his wife in prior work. In 1963, they included a black character, Gabe Jones, in the ensemble cast of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, and Lee encouraged artists to include black characters in crowded scenes. In 1988, Lee explained his motivation. I wasn't thinking of civil rights. I don't give a fuck. I had a lot of friends who were black. We had artists who were black. So it occurred to me, why aren't there any black heroes? Soon after Black Panther was introduced, there's just a lot of black.
A lot of blacks. They have to emphasize black.
Excelsior!
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey babies, you liking the show? Well, thanks. Leave a 5-star rating and a comment, please. Do you want to see the guys' faces? Well, they got YouTube videos. It comes out every Wednesday before the episode comes out on Friday. You can watch this podcast on any major platform you listen to. Rate 5 stars and comment. Thanks, babies.
Well, one of the best arcs, or at least one of the ones that I remember, it was Panther versus the Klan. God damn, this writes itself. Okay, the second and final arc of Panther versus the Klan ran mostly 17-page stories in Jungle Action 19 through 24, January through November 1976, except for issue 23. That was a reprint of Daredevil 69.
Here you go.
You gotta have 69, baby. Okay, so Daredevil 69, in which Black Panther guest starred. The subject matter of the Ku Klux Klan was considered controversial in the Marvel offices at the time, creating difficulties. So there were a bunch of fucking racist writers at Marvel, but they say it was difficult for the creative team. So Dwayne McDuffie said of the Jungle Action Black Panther feature, because Black Panther brings up a lot of civil rights issues and whatnot, which we see that Kirby and Stan Lee didn't fucking care anything about that, which I guess in regards they didn't really have to. It sucks to say that, but it's the same thing like with the Iranian woman that didn't wear hijab doing the rock climbing. She was like, no, I just didn't have a hijab. Otherwise I would have worn it. You know, with all the stuff that's going on in Iran, she came back and people were like, you're fucking awesome. You're awesome because you're, against this religious government, theocracy, and, you're the best. And she's just like, no, I would have worn it. I just didn't have it because I had to pack quickly to go to this rock climbing meet. She was more or less like, I'm not a hero. I don't want to be a hero. I just want to climb mountains, which isn't that a hero? Anyways, Black writer Dwayne McDuffie said of that arc, the Panther vs. the Klan, the overlooked and underrated classic is arguably the most tightly written multi-part superhero epic. If you can get your hands on it, Sit down and read the whole thing. It's damn near flawless. Every issue, every scene, a functional, necessary part of the whole. Okay, now go back and read any individual issue. You find seamlessly integrated words and pictures, clearly introduced characters and situations, a concise, sometimes even transparent recap, beautifully developed character relationships, at least one cool new villain, a stunning action set piece to test our heroes' skills and resolve, and a story that is always moving forward towards a definitive and satisfying conclusion. That's what we should all be delivering every single month. Don, and that's Don McGregor and company, did it only in 17 story pages per issue.
It was canceled, though. It
was.
Yeah. As soon as they start going after the KKK and all that other shit. I mean, it was poor sales. They weren't just, they weren't doing amazing as far as that goes. But shortly after that, that's when they kind of didn't tackle those serious subjects anymore, and his character got a little marginalized in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, he was replaced by the character Casper Cole, who ended up becoming the White Tiger, but he was like a multiracial New York City police officer. T'Challa was just a supporting character. It's fucking White Tiger. Jesus Christ. And it's all the fucking, probably the people in the South that were backing them. It's like, I don't know if I do appreciate you talking about our little secret group like that, Mr. Lee and Mr. Kirby. The Black Panther character has been through many challenges and tribulations along with X-Men, Spider-Man, Daredevil, you can name them all, Hulk. He's been a part of all of it. He is one of the main characters in the Illuminati when the series first started, along with Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Namor, Name-ass.
Was Professor X a part of that? Or was that?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
But there are many different characters that have gone in and out of the Illuminati, which is, that's a cool Illuminati. Our Illuminati is going to destroy and kill us all, or at least put us to work in the mines on different comets and asteroids that fly by.
I'm telling you, we're just going to work at Amazon. That's all you're going to do. You're going to work on that outer space club that Bezos is coming up with, and only the exclusive people get into that club. And then once all the club is built, people are in the club, they look down at Earth and like, wait, what's that? Oh, shit. Earth has been blown up.
Let's party. Come on.
Champagne.
Let's put on Maroon 5.
Oh, God.
He sounds like...
And people jump out the air duct and just explode.
No, yeah, you'd have probably be most of the fucking, people help building that shit that would try to just okay, I'm taking my fucking mask off, fuck that shit. And then you have a bunch of other fucking douchebags with their faces all stretched out being like, oh, Jeff, you're just so fucking good. Here, let me put your little tiny dick in my mouth. I hate him so much. There should not be fucking billionaires.
Don't talk about Lord Bezos that way.
Well, I was going to say, T'Challa, technically he's a billionaire, and so is Iron Man, but they're superheroes, on the side. And then, Iron Man's an alcoholic.
He fights apartheid. He fights
Black Panther. Oh, yeah.
He fights for justice.
So Wakanda, its whole economy is based around vibranium, which is this precious metal that when an asteroid hit, it landed in Wakanda, boosh, and they rich.
The comet, is it the same one that had the symbiote in it, or is this just a random ass vibranium comet?
You know what? I don't know. I'm going based off of the original telling of...
Because wouldn't that be cool?
Of Black Panther. It would be cool.
I'm just pulling it out my ass. I'm sorry. I heard comet. I was going to say the one that killed the dinosaurs, but then that was an asteroid.
There are so many fucking things hitting the Earth in Marvel Comics, and so many fucking tea bags happening by Celestials. It's fucking insane. So, yeah, Ulysses Klaue is there, and he's like the main villain, the antagonist for Black Panther.
Yeah.
There are other ones. He's fought Doctor Doom and other villains such Galactus and whatnot, along with the Avengers, which that's kind of where he got a little more presence. But Black Panther kind of started on more or less teams. That's how they got the ball rolling with Black Panther. After the Fantastic Four, that was his first appearance. The next was the Avengers.
Yes.
And then he became an Avenger. So Avengers, and then he gets his own comic strip. But the thing that got me more involved with it, now I don't know if he appeared in any early on animated shows, because I don't think he did. He may have appeared in Spider-Man, but I think maybe in the old Fantastic Four animated shows, because I used to watch those. I used to watch the Spider-Man ones, Fantastic Four. Namor had his own shit. Namor was such a fucking prick throughout the whole fucking thing. Just chauvinist asshole with little fucking wings on his feet. What the hell is that shit? He ain't Hermes. You got some type of fucking growth coming out. No, Hermes, the god. Jesus Christ, Don.
Oh, you know what you forgot?
What?
Our sponsor. What's our sponsor today? You forgot.
Don, today's sponsor is Tammy's Tampons. That big flow, it gotta go. Tammy's Tampons.
And back to the show.
So, as I was talking about Namor with the fucking warts on his fucking feet and, you know, doing bad shit to Wakanda. Well, I guess the movie coming up, I don't know. Fucking Namor getting fat shamed in the movie.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I forgot who it was. I think it was the guy that did the Deadpool comic, or was the guy that actually helped like write Namor comics. They were saying it's like the guy that wrote Namor is more cut than Namor in the movie, and I'm like, fucking Namor, the character that they developed, which I thought was a great. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me stop. The BET animated show was like the first one where it was a standalone T'Challa, the whole story of Wakanda, Black Panther, because it wasn't a regular like cartoon. It was almost like comic strip-ish. There wasn't a lot of movement that went on, if that makes sense. It was almost kind of like it was a comic strip.
Remember, I told you like 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, man, Aaron, it's this series that is based off an X-Men comic book strip that I really like, and they do this stop motion type animation, and then you're like, oh, Black Panther they did that for Black Panther first. I'm like, oh, he did? But it's the same thing. I think your boy, who you don't like you never liked, the dude who did Buffy, Joss Whedon, actually directed that series, if I'm not mistaken. It was so good. But you told me Black Panther did the same thing. Not the same premise, but the same animation.
Yeah, real quick. Fuck Joss Whedon. Yeah, he did the same animation, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a dumb fucking show. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, no. It was not good. The movie's good. The show was dumb.
I like the show, but I didn't watch the movie. No, I really haven't. I've seen pieces, but I've never seen the actual from beginning to end Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But the show was great. I loved it.
Agree to disagree. You're wrong. Anyways, the Black Panther BET show was the reason why I watched it. Also reruns of Martin. Yes. And so watching it, you see a Captain America that's completely different than the Chris Evans one and any other animated versions. Like, this Captain America was fucking tough as shit. He was just like mean, like fucking.
This is the BET one you're talking about?
Yeah, this is the BET one. Huh. He was just kind of like rough. He's like, I'm going to take you out right now. You know, like, just, I'm going to fucking take you out. Anyways, he just seemed meaner. It was probably because it was on BET, and BET hates white people.
That is so true. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. The series, before you go on, 2009 miniseries called Astonishing X-Men. Oh my God. Like I said, it came out in 2009.
Yep.
Probably around the same time as the Black Panther stop motion one.
Well, that wasn't the only one with X-Men, Black Panther. Black Panther was a series. X-Men was like a miniseries. They also had a miniseries for Iron Man. And that was what was the Iron Man 3? Like the thing that was going on? They were shooting themselves up.
Oh, yeah.
Iron Man 2 was the terrible one, if I remember correctly. Iron Man 3 wasn't that bad.
2 was forgettable, but 3 was terrible, and that's the only reason why I remember it. But 2 was just forgettable.
I know they did the whole fucking, what's his fucking dude with the 10 rings? Now I can't remember his name.
I remember the actor because I like him.
Ben Kingsley.
Oh, him too?
He was he was the villain.
Well, it turned out to be the other guy who I was actually thinking of, but now that you say Ben Kingsley, I'm like, oh yeah, of course.
Well, the whole thing that they were doing, the shooting up, that was a comic book series, and I cannot remember what the actual shot was or what it was called.
And they used that plot on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series too. I remember that. because they were trying to like link everything into making that show great, which I liked until I stopped watching it because it was just like, there's too many shows. I know you think that. Well, Agent May was great.
You liked her because she's good looking.
And she's a good actress. And
she's a good actress, but it's like she's the saving.
She's the saving one, and she's saving. Yes, and she plays the same character. Yeah, she's in Mandalorian. Yeah.
And there, I answered by saying, okay, I don't want to shame anyone into whatever. Anyways, the BET version of Black Panther was how I was more or less introduced. Gave the backstory, told the whole T'Challa thing and how he came to power, people threatening his power, meeting Captain America. So Black Panther had no super serum or anything. He had the heart flower. Well, he had the meth that got him going.
There you go.
And you could say the same about Captain America, too. I'm sure he was doing a little bit of meth. And then the next iteration, everyone was doing meth. Man, they were putting cocaine in Coca-Cola then.
Only trace amounts. Come on. It's like the kind of cocaine you put on the table, you sniff it, and then there's that little residue. At least that's what I saw in movies.
Wait, you have a headache? I know what could cure that. Heroin. Have some heroin.
Well, no, you got to put that in a syringe, don't you?
You can sniff it, and you can shoot it up if you want to. It just takes a little bit of a stiffy.
A stiffy?
Yeah. We call shooting up heroin a stiffy. It gets you going. It gets you real good.
That's what they used to do to the jazz musicians, right? I don't know.
Yeah, and then you just, you stick it up your butt.
Go ahead, introduce it to your neighborhood. The blacks love it. That's what Jack Kirby said.
Yeah. Well, we go to the jazz place and all the blacks playing jazz.
I'm surprised he didn't put that as just like a standalone comic. Black.
Yeah, we call this comic book Black.
Good old Curbs.
Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Excelsior. Black.
Rest in peace.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, if you like to see us in the flesh, we have video highlights of our episodes we release on every Wednesday before the new episode that comes out Friday. As always, you can catch this podcast on any major platform you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to rate us 5 stars and comment on how you're liking the show. After School Special Podcast.
It's this lady and she's like, "Hi, welcome to my vagina."
After School Special Podcast.
What robot pet starts out speaking a unique language, but eventually speaks English? Gloopy? The fuck is a gloopy?
Podcast comes out every Friday. Anywho, we get into the movies. We see Black Panther come out of Civil War, the series that, honestly, fuck that series. Don't fuck the series, the comic book series, but the movie, I was so pissed off at what they did. They just shortened that. That could have been literally 2 fucking movies. And they called it Civil War, and I'm like, they're going to do this in 1 movie?
They were trying to get to Thanos at that point, in my opinion. I think they were like, all right, man, we built up Thor, we built up Captain America, and now we like, okay, we got to get Black Panther in here. All right, just throw him in. Like, let's just get this rolling into Thanos, because we keep teasing this guy.
And then what was it? Because that was Captain America. So before that was Winter Soldier, and they did have the Falcon. So that's all fucking topsy-turvy because Black Panther came first. Falcon didn't come first. And there's only been 1 movie where there's been a main, right? Am I wrong? A main, black character in the Marvel Universe. And that's Black Panther. You have the Falcon in the Winter Soldier show, but that was it. That was like a small series. Now they're going to do, the Captain America thing, but it's, I don't know. Yeah, Marvel's still racist. Anywho, the Black Panther, which is by far one of the best Marvel movies made. Killmonger, the whole story, the soundtrack, our Lord Kendrick Lamar fucking producing that out. I love that album. And then, sadly, lost Chadwick Boseman to cancer. And,
if I'm reading this right, too, it seems like Marvel casted Chadwick as their first and only choice. I've been trying to research who else did they have in mind, and I'm talking about during this Marvel Universe MCU time that it seemed like he was the only choice. But I know they talked about doing a Black Panther movie well before this, right? Didn't we talk about Wesley Snipes or somebody?
Yeah,
trying
Wesley
to get
Snipes. There had been talks of a movie being produced. Also, I think that's one of our like casting in the 80s. Definitely he would have been T'Challa, like Wesley Snipes would have been.
Absolutely. I would have loved
T'Challa.
that.
I'm trying to think who else could have been that character.
Well, I guess you go through the roster of the 90s. It could have been, of course, Danny Glover.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think of the black actors that they wheeled out on every movie in the 90s, where it was like, damn, it's only 5 black actors in the 90s. So you had Wesley Snipes, you had Denzel, you had Danny Glover, you still had Samuel Jackson. So somehow he could have been in.
So with Black Panther movie coming out back in 2018, I cannot speak from experience, but seeing a lot of the videos of, as a white liberal, seeing the black kids so happy about like, I don't want to be that guy, but it made me happy. It made me happy that there was your hero, because look, we got all of our shit. Like, we got so many you're looking at me like,
what? I'm taking it in. That's what she said.
I don't know, man. Because dude, if you don't know, Don is like my brother. I have brothers and I love them too, but Don is one of my best friends, and being able to, I don't know, man. It just like, it felt good, and it felt long deserved that shit, that you get a win. It's fucking terrible.
Thank you, white people. I mean,
yeah.
Do you want to go through at least mention that it was mainly an all-black production, and that was cool too. As far as the music, you already mentioned it, Kendrick Lamar. Yep. You had all this black excellence, and as far as artistic,
Ryan Coogler as director,
it was great, excellent.
Yeah.
The cinematography, Angela Bassett. You got Chadwick Boseman. You had, who was his sister?
Michael B. Jordan.
Killmonger.
And you know what? It was a great villain. The only thing I will say about that movie, and the only thing that was not good about it, was the fight scene between Killmonger and Black Panther. That CGI was awful.
That didn't pop off the screen for me. Honestly, by that point, I was just like, oh, okay, they're going to fight. I didn't even give a shit about the fight. I know that's crazy. Maybe I'm just getting old. But it was like, it was so good that I almost didn't need it, because I already know Black Panther's going to win. It was only one good thing about that fight, which was at the end of the fight when T'Challa did this move that even Killmonger appreciated.
What did you say?
Killmonger?
I thought you said T'Challa.
I said that T'Challa, a move that T'Challa did.
T'Challa.
Damn it. I've probably been saying it the whole episode. I'm so bad with names. Tin Man, T'Challa, $10. $10.
I'm going to put in my application to the black community.
The race draft.
Yes.
Boy.
And Rachel Dolezal. We'll take her back, and I will come willingly and ready.
That's fair. I've been blowing it lately, black people. I'm sorry. And not in that way. You know what I mean? As far as the movie goes, I really enjoyed it. Was it a perfect movie? No. Was it great? In my opinion, no. But it was important. And I believe I was about to say T'Challa. T'Challa, first of all. And if Chadwick Boseman had lived, I think the second movie, and we discussed this, Aaron, and even Staffman, when he was on the show, that if he had a sequel and he was alive, I think it would have been better than Captain America Winter Soldier, because we both, you and I, Aaron, we love that film. But
oh my God, I love that movie so much. You know what it's based off of, right? Ryan Coogler, so in an interview, he had said what the second one was going to be if Chadwick was still alive. It would have taken place after the blip, and him kind of, fighting a villain, more or less. I don't know if Namor was going to originally be in it.
Okay.
I think he was. And what was going to happen was that it had been 5 years because he was
Right.
flipped out of existence.
Right.
5 years, and then all of a sudden, King T'Challa comes back. So it was going to be more or less him trying to find his place in the world again after being gone for 5 years. With that being said, cannot remember if Namor was going to be in it. So with the new one, Wakanda Forever, technically, I don't know if Namor is going to be the villain. He was a little bit of a villain or an anti-hero because he didn't care about what happened in the dry world. He only cared about what was wet. No?
No. Okay. I know we're speeding along. But first of all, can't just leave that hanging.
What?
I didn't think
Wet?
Black
Fucking
I didn't
wet.
think Black Panther was great because they didn't emphasize how T'Challa was a genius and how vicious he can be. I know it's a PG-13 movie. I understand they didn't want a vicious black man on screen, but it's like, no, in the comic, like, he's just as vicious as Wolverine. I wanted
vicious
that.
as Wolverine, as smart as literally the most intelligent person
As
on
Iron
the
Man.
face of the planet.
Or even,
yeah,
he's a genius. I know they passed that mantle a little, well, not mantle. Well, they kind of do. In
his
the second
physicality
movie.
is bar none the best
Yes.
from any Marvel character. His intelligence is bar none one of the best. Because for some reason they gave it all to Shuri,
his
the
sister,
character.
which that's what I was going to allude to. Like, it makes sense if they're going to pass that mantle to her in the second
do
movie.
you think? I was going to say, okay, so do you think the reason why Marvel did that instead of giving it to Chadwick and making him kind of the leader and not as or look as intelligent as the Black Panther is because white people are afraid of black men? I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
Do you think that could have some actual, like, because I've actually read articles and watched videos, and the reason why they did Shuri and like Angela Bassett as these strong, intelligent black women. But then I think about it, and I'm like, Ryan Coogler was the director. He was the creator of the story, and he wanted to present black women in a different light. But there are fucking videos out there that state the reason why Chadwick, the Black Panther character, because Black Panther is probably in Wakanda the most intelligent, most powerful superhero, and that's not even in just Wakanda, that's in the world. But I wanted to hear your opinion because it's not that I didn't want to have one, I just didn't know. And then as I was saying it, I'm like, Ryan Coogler was the director though.
Yeah,
he wrote the script.
They didn't make him look dumb. He was highly intelligent in the film. I think, if I had to guess, I think if they would have went that route more so in the first film, because like I said, we'll never know how he would have been in the second film. Maybe that would have been more emphasized. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I think in the first movie, they wanted to not make him so Tony Starkish. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, I mean, not everybody that's a genius is compared to Tony Stark, i.e. Bruce Banner. He's a genius, but they kind of made him a fumbling kind of genius. So, but
oh my god,
which a lot of people don't like. Yeah,
I fucking hate it. The whole ego thing when it comes to, because he was in the comic books, he wasn't always as humble. He was very like ego driven and whatnot, just like Tony Stark. But he was just more in the movies.
He's just more suave. He's a black man. I mean, look, I was cool with it because like Tony Stark is Tony Stark, and T'Challa is T'Challa. Am I saying this
T'Challa, right? T'Challa, tin. It's not tin as a Tin. It's T'Challa, black.
I'm sorry, black people. T'Challa. Shit.
Damn
it.
Saying tin. Come on, man. Write it down.
T'Challa.
There you go.
It's not even a difficult name. I can say Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, that's nothing.
What the fuck?
Did I say it right? Oh shit!
No, you did. You did.
Right.
No,
I can say that.
Right. But you can't say T'Challa.
I told you that shit got Africa in its name. Antetokounmpo. Africa.
Black.
But I think they were like, okay, they just try to like carve out everybody's niche. Thor is the lovable lughead. He's a jock.
But he wasn't. That's the thing. Like,
not in the comic, yes.
They changed these characters, which for better or worse, like some of it worked. Thor Ragnarok is one of the better films out of that
and
series.
The third
I think,
one, the rare Marvel one where it's better than the first two.
Yep. And then the only one that I think they got pretty close to was T'Challa in Iron Man, Tony Stark. I think that's the closest they, like, Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Oh, absolutely.
He will never get away from it as much as he wants to. Rumor has it is that he might make an appearance in Secret Wars, but then there's also the rumor that Tom Cruise is making an appearance.
Just go fly a plane and get the fuck up out of here.
Or what is it? Secret Invasion or Secret War? I can't remember. Secret Wars.
I think it's Secret
Not
Wars.
Secret Invasion. Yeah.
So I thought Chris Evans did a great Captain America. I think he was good too. I don't know how close he was to the comic. I didn't really pay attention to Captain America that much growing up. I thought he was great.
He was very good. There was like a naivety, like almost like a child, and I didn't really appreciate that because he's battle hardened. He's seen all that shit, and like, I don't know. I don't think that was the case, or at least go into the comics. But we could say this shit all day, but then it's just like, you know, I'd rather get some pussy.
Black. Well, I was thinking that he was not so much naive, but you got to remember in the Marvel universe, in the MCU, that this guy was frozen all that damn time. And I know in the comics, he was just a little different, but in the movie, how they presented him, he's still trying to catch up on things, technology.
Well, yeah.
Like, he's still wide-eyed. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, so I felt
There's no way that he still had a dick. Like, if he was frozen like
he got the secret serum, or where the fuck that shit is.
Yeah, but that could also, that's like steroids too. He gets a fucking hairy back and hairy ass, and then he's got tiny balls and like barely a fucking developed dick. You saw how skinny he was. Not everything grows when you get the serum.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah? Where's my serum?
Yeah, where's Black? I don't know.
Black.
Oh, but a little tiny sidebar in the Falcon series in the Winter Soldier. Yeah, Winter Soldier, Falcon series, they introduced the first Black Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder if they're going to kind of inch him back in a little bit. That'd be kind of cool if both the old Black Captain America and the old white Captain America kind of fight together. That'd be kind of funny.
I forgot the character's, the actual, like, his name, because I looked it up and I'm like, I've seen the character before.
Yeah,
he's like the sleeves are cut off and the bandana and everything. So moving on, we do have the new mantle is being held up, and I think everyone knows this by now. So Shuri becomes the new Black Panther, which in the comic book she is Black Panther at one time when T'Challa is in a coma. And then I don't know how it's gonna be. I'm gonna go see it. I'm getting tickets. Like, I want to go see it. Namor, I like what they're going to do with this character, which Namor was just some fucking silly white guy in some green trunks and the fucking warts on his ankles that look like little...
I'm not familiar with this character. Can you explain him for the audience?
Namor is basically Aquaman. Like, DC has Aquaman, Namor is Marvel. And to be honest, I've said this multiple times, Marvel stole a lot of shit from DC. And I think... I would say Namor wasn't. They came out with Namor pretty early on, right around with Captain America. He has his hair slicked back. He's got these green trunks on. But like later on in Namor's series, he wears like this black wetsuit almost. And he's got these little wings on his ankles, which he does in this. And so as far as I know, he was not Aztec or anything like that. This new Namor looks like that. And I don't know, he looks pretty badass. Everyone's kind of fat shaming him a little bit, and I'm like,
hey man, not everybody got time to just be in shape. Shit.
Well, no, dude, he is in shape, but he's in shape like he
has the dad bod.
It's not even that, man. He's like Aztec, or
they ate a lot of hummus.
He as big as he is. That's fucking Middle Eastern, you dick.
No, I believe the term is idiot. But I don't know. What the fuck they be eating? I don't know what the fuck they be eating.
They just eat meat, and there's like, you know, tomato. Fuck. I don't know, man. I don't know what they ate back there.
Tamales, I don't know, man.
Black. Well, out of all the superheroes or top 100 superheroes, T'Challa, Black Panther, is rated 51 on top superhero list. I don't know where the list is from.
I believe
but I think
it was IGN.
IGN? Okay.
We'll go
the overall, top 100 superheroes, T'Challa is 51. They couldn't even get him in the top 50. Fucking racist IGN. Black.
Should I name the episode that? Just black.
No, just like black in capital letters and then Panther. Jack Kirby coming in here.
My friends were black.
My best friend's black. I'm not a racist.
Basically. No, how could he be? He included us in the Marvel series. What I would like to see in this film, though, they were hinting about putting mutants into the universe. They have, in a way.
T'Challa's wife.
Yeah, Storm.
That was a big thing. Storm was technically, I guess, the queen of Wakanda, and there's a whole series of traveling around together on this tour. But yeah, Storm was a big part of the whole Black Panther series. I think that ended up happening more in the 80s or 90s. I cannot remember.
And that's what we're going to miss out on unless they do the 2022 hip thing by making his sister...
you do know... Yeah. Well,
I'm not making. What am I saying? Making.
You mean like the LGBTQ?
Which, sure, man. As long as we get Storm.
Namor is technically a mutant in this series.
Shit.
That's what they're saying. And then the whole mutant thing was introduced with Miss Marvel. That whole thing. And they're kind of pushing that now. But they're saying within the next 10 years, you're not going to see the X-Men for like another 10 years.
Jeez. Why?
We're going to be in our fucking 40. We're going to be almost 50, dude.
I guarantee it's going to be even sooner than that. Because you got to understand, they've been trying to inch Deadpool into this series. And they got Wolverine now joining him in the next movie. I just can't believe it. I don't believe it. They're going to somehow weasel their way into this universe. And then...
I hope so, man, because I don't got much more time left. I'll tell you that right now.
Jesus, you calling your own shot?
I'm on my last legs. This pain in my chest right now is starting to... Well, actually, it's a fucking muscle twist.
Hear that, Latchkey Kid? Subscribe and listen to our episodes while you can.
Yep, please, because all you guys listening right now, we're going to have to do a GoFundMe for when I go into the hospital, because I do love McChickens. And I eat at least 3 McChickens a day. And so this is also brought to you by McChicken. So... I think that's it. I kind of rambled for a little bit, and Don will work so fucking hard to put this thing together and make this a viable episode. Well, Latchkey Kids, Broken Homies, I want to say thank you for coming on this ride with us to Wakanda, mining vibranium, and Jack Kirby, with all his crazy racist antics. And no, Jack Kirby's not a racist. I don't want to get sued by his family, but Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, their character of T'Challa, Black Panther. We're excited to see the movie. Leave us a voice message in regards to maybe what comic, even any comic that you like. Black Panther, what you like about the character, what comic book series that you liked Black Panther, what you think about the movie. Leave us a voicemail. Don, have we gotten any voicemails?
No. And by the way, the voicemail tag is called Latchkey Kids Speak. That's Latchkey Kids Speak. If you go to our description on any of our episodes, it's in the descriptions. Once again, this is After School Special Podcast. Look for us, the site, afterschoolspecialpodcast.com, Instagram, After School Special Podcast, on Twitter, After School SPE3 on Twitter, and on TikTok, After School Special 3. That's After School Special 3, the number 3. And we're on YouTube, After School Special Podcast on YouTube. Listen to our old episodes. Listen to Staff Man's Retro Rewind, a new series that we're doing. Staff Man is revising some of our older episodes, going deeper into his knowledge and putting more into them.
So deep.
So deep. Oh, balls deep. He'll like that. Also, rate us 5 stars and make sure you put in the comment Latchkey Kid if you have nothing else to say, because otherwise your rating won't count, because it won't register. Like I said in the previous episodes, I've done it before. I put 5 stars and I didn't see it. And then once I put something in the review, ... or you stink, this show sucks, it showed up. And then I was embarrassed. But it worked. So, once again, this is After School Special Podcast. I'm Double D. That's
Aaron.
Yeah. Black.
Hey everyone, it's Aaron from After School Special Podcast. Like what you hear so far? But don't forget to subscribe and download the show on whatever platform you get your podcasts. And just a friendly reminder, we have new episodes out every Friday. Thanks for listening, everyone.
T'Challa is T'Challa. Am I saying this shit right?
T'Challa. T'Challa. Tin. It's not tin as a Tin. It's T'Challa. Black.